Surely Liverpool cannot F this up. Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to the Liverpool versus Leipzig preview. We are at home, well not really at home, which actually could be a very good thing when you consider we're on 6 home defeats, so actually we can take a positive out that if we're going to try and find any today, what I'm saying. But no, we're here to talk about the Liverpool-Leipzig game. It's going to be one of them games, it's going to be one of them nights where it's going to be nerve-wracking from the second that I wake up tomorrow to the second that I go to sleep, if I can even get any sleep, because if we don't make it through this leg, and I have to suffer for the rest of this season, mate, I don't even know if I can do it, people. I really, really don't. It's just because I understand when you think about the likelihood of Liverpool winning the Champions League, I get it's this big. It's this big, maybe even this big. Slightly bigger just because there's not as many teams and anything can happen in this Premier League season. But it's not this big, and it's not this big. It's not as big or anywhere close as big to what we had last year in terms of the chances that we've got. We know that. But when we clutch onto it, because this season's not going to get null and voided. I know I joke when I say let's null and void the season. Obviously, I joke, I kid, because if anyone was saying that to me last season, I'd have none of it, mate. I was like, listen, I am lifting this Premier League trophy after 38 games just so no one could say it was bullshit, even though we were kind of clear from a certain point. But when it comes to this competition, though, it's just one of them things, mate, where even though we're 2-0 up, we've got the advantage. We done alright to get that result in the first leg as well, because to be honest, I don't think we were vintage Liverpool even in the first leg. I feel like our goals came from mistakes. They came from them not taking their chances, and to be honest, we kind of can say that we got off with one, and we were thankful that it was away from home, because they're not just 2 goals, they are 2 away goals. But let's talk about Leipzig. Let's talk about what they've got to offer and why they're threatening this game. First reason, before talking about any players or whatnot, the first reason why Leipzig are threatening in this game of football is because they are very much the underdogs. And I don't mean on form, the top of the Bundesliga, and they are having a great season, they're on a great run, the team's playing well, even though they've had a few missed results, they've still got a few sound sort of performers in that team, and they've been getting sound results. They've got a very good manager as well, by the way. I just think it's one of them things where when you're talking about Leipzig and when you're talking about their approach to this game, do you know, like when Liverpool played Dortmund and then we played Barcelona, we went into them games being the worst sides. Now, what I mean by the worst sides, at the time of playing Dortmund, they had better players. They had Aubameyang in his prime, they had Reece in his prime, they had Gundogan, they had Goethe, I believe. Who else was on the pitch for them that day? They might have not had Goethe. Either way, they had some ballers. Barcelona. Maybe now we've realised that they're not the same, but at that time, Barcelona was still considered one of the best clubs in the world. And even 4-0 down, Liverpool knew with the underdog factor that can carry us through most things. And that's what can go against Liverpool in this fixture. It very much can. So I'm worried for that aspect, because I feel like Nagelsmann, being the young, hungry manager that he is, he's going to look at this as a massive opportunity for the rebounds. Even when you look at the fact that in the group stage, Leipzig weren't even favourites to go through. It was supposed to be PSG and United. Now, you can partly put that down for United bottling it, but you have to put it down to the fact that Leipzig were just that good to beat them in the second game and get the 3 points that they very much needed. So that's why I'm worried. Let's talk about players. Nkunku, Angelino. These are 2 specifics that I feel Liverpool are going to struggle against, especially Angelino, from when we're thinking about counter-attacking. Now, of course, Leipzig in this game can't just sit back. They don't have that advantage. They're 2-0 down, and they can't just hope and pray that they just rely on counter-attacks. But how was they beating us a lot in that first game? It was down the left-hand side, and it was Angelino versus Trent, and we found that was a problem. That's where I'm concerned. Nkunku as well, mate. He's a quality player if you haven't seen one. He's got skill, flair, he's got the ability to take on anyone, he can finish. It's one of them things, he's very creative. That's the type of players that have been breaking us very recently. Let's look as far recently as Mason Mount for Chelsea. Devastated our team in the whole entire game. And it was only one moment from an individual piece of brilliance that allowed them to get the 3 points, and Nkunku's going to be massive. So that's what I worry about when it comes to Leipzig and whatnot. Let's talk about the lineup, and let's talk about how I think Klopp will set out, and then I'll say what I would love or what I would prefer to see when it comes to choosing this starting 11. So as I always start these off, let me do the lineup first. I think we'll just stick with a 4-3-3. But I'll tell you, once I've set my lineup, how I will kind of change and where I will place players actually when it comes to the game. So in goal, Alisson, think that's fine. Back four, Robbo, Fabinho. This is what I think Klopp will go with: Fabinho, Kabak and Trent. Midfield three of Gini in the six, Thiago and Curtis Jones. And then front three being Mane, Firmino and Salah. So that's what I think Klopp will do. I don't agree with that, but I just feel like he's still going to go with his main front three in Mane, Firmino and Salah. I feel like that's just, regardless of Jota being back, especially with the fact Jota's just played 90 minutes, I don't see Klopp seeing the point of starting Jota in this game. One, he won't want to risk it, and two, he probably still doesn't see Jota as a better option than the front three, even though the front three are out of form. That's my opinion on how I think Klopp sees it. Maybe I'm wrong. I think he'll start Thiago and Gini in the midfield, and again, I'll do the lineup that I want to do, but I feel like that's his set midfield. I feel like he thinks this is his strongest 11, basically. Curtis Jones is undroppable and whatnot, but let me tell you what I would do. Same formation, Alisson in goal, same back four of Robbo, Trent and Kabak, except this time I'm putting Fabinho in the midfield and I'm putting Nat Phillips at centre-back. Nat Phillips has done nothing wrong when it comes to playing in that position. Nothing wrong. Him and Kabak have had little experience, but experience nonetheless, of playing with each other side by side. Now, they've done fine together. Was they world class? No, but you can't expect them to be. But we're talking about the benefit of the whole team, not just the back four, the benefit of the whole team. If we stick with the four at the back that we've been going with recently, we're susceptible to conceding goals. Whereas if we get Fabinho in that number 6, just in front of the back four, giving away who I'm firstly putting in my midfield, it gives more cover to the back line and it gives the free roaming of the midfielders in front of Fabinho to push higher up the pitch and cause Leipzig a few problems. That's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm thinking a bit too attacking for a game that we need to avoid conceding goals. But if we score 1, I feel like this game can be done. If we score 2, I feel like it's definitely done, regarding the shift form, because we haven't been conceding 5-6 goals in a game. Touch fucking wood. So that's why I put Fabinho in the number 6 and go with Nat Phillips and Kabak as the centre-backs and everything else just the same. In front of Fabinho, I would go with Thiago and Curtis Jones. Gini, I would rest. I'm fine with resting Gini whenever we get a chance to rest him. But I also feel like Curtis Jones is undroppable, and giving Thiago the freedom to go just a little bit more further forward in the number 6 role, I feel like, in the number 8 role, I feel like can be a benefit to him and a benefit to the team. Then for the front three, I'm going to go with Jota on the left, Salah on the right and Firmino in the middle. Some may question, why wouldn't you start Mane over Firmino when Firmino's been so bad as well? Mane's been worse for me, and I know they both don't take the chances, but I feel like Firmino offers more outside of the goal scoring aspects than what Mane does. That's just my opinion. Feel free to disagree and whatnot. And this is how I would set it out. So I put Jota and Salah as my 2 strikers. If this is what we were going to do, this is how I would plan it. Jota and Salah for my 2 strikers. Get them 2 in behind. Get them 2 for the counter-attacks. We know them 2 can link up with each other well. We saw bits of it in the Fulham game. It never fully paid off, and this is a better side. But we still can't just ignore the fact they still have moments. You can't ignore moments, and they very much certainly have moments. So we're going to go with that. And then Firmino playing that deeper role that he so desires, type of thing, when he's on the pitch. Play him in a calm, play him sort of in a 4-1-2-1-2 type of formation, diamond formation. Get Firmino in that central role. Get Thiago and Curtis just either sides of him. Push Robbo and Trent forward. Again, I might be thinking a bit too much attacking, but I feel like with the cover of Fabinho, and then you've got Nat Phillips and Kabak, kind of like a back 3 to a back 5 to a back 4. Just change it up. Change it up. Don't be going for the same things constantly. As for the score prediction, again, that's just what I would do based on what I think we're going to start the game with and how I think we're going to play. I think this is going to be a 2-1 win for Leipzig. Now, bearing in mind, even though I'm being a negative Nancy by saying we're going to lose the actual fixture, it doesn't mean we lose the tie. That would allow us to still go through to the next round, which I will very much take. Darren and Conroy and Nick, they were all saying results like 2-2 when we done the LFC talk show yesterday. I'd love a 2-2 because we wouldn't have lost the game, and I can still celebrate the fact we're through to the next round. And like I said, however light that light bulb is for this season, it's still got a very dim light. It's still working very. It's not the brightest light that you're ever going to see, but it's still working to an extent, and it's because we've still got the Champions League competition. Premier League hopes is dead. We're not getting top 4. We don't even want Europa League, so pretty much 10th place. Then Champions League, just get us however far we can get. Let's squeeze any last piece of juice out of this season we can, because the Champions League is where that juice is, essentially, without trying to sound mad. But anyway, that's my score prediction and whatnot. I think we'll go through, but I think we'll lose the game. That's my line-up prediction. That is my thoughts. Leave in the comments down below what your thoughts are, your score predictions and whatnot. It's going to be an interesting one, and one that I'm kind of worried about, but we move, people, we move. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe. Anyway, have a marvellous day. See you later.